What's up everybody, it's your boy Ash here to talk about the show Hawkeye, episodes 1 and 2. Alright, so right away in the first episode we get introduced to Kate Bishop, a young Kate Bishop, who hasn't developed her skills or anything like that. She's a young girl living in a penthouse, in her family's penthouse, and it's during the battles of the Avengers versus the Chitauri, and her penthouse pretty much gets wiped out, and while she's there, she sees Hawkeye doing his thing, kicking a bunch of Chitauri ass, and she gets an affinity towards him. She develops a real interest in him, and she decides to take on archery and taekwondo and judo and all the martial arts. And as she grows up, she starts developing her skills and becomes a real badass. And we see her getting in a lot of trouble right off the bat in the first episode. She's causing a bunch of mayhem. A bunch of series of events unfold, and she ends up getting in possession of the Ronin suit, the one that Clint Barton used to kill Yakuza members and drug dealers and slumlords. She gets a hold of the suit, and she starts wearing it, and she gets herself into a lot of trouble because she gets seen in the media, and the media basically thinks that Ronin is back, and we get mafia members tracking her down to her place of residence thinking that she is Ronin. So Clint has to try and help her out and get her out of this jam. Second episode is a little less eventful. They lose the suit. Clint basically spends the entire episode looking for the suit, and then pretty much at the end they get a scuffle with the tracksuit mafia. These are Russians who wear tracksuits, basically velour jumpsuits, top and bottom matching, who are a mafia group, and they call themselves the tracksuit mafia. Nothing that too spectacular, it's nothing that awesome. This episode was okay. It wasn't as good as the first one. The first one was pretty good, it was pretty decent. We get introduced to a new character, we get a lot of new stuff, reintroduction to Ronin character again. We see his awesome sword, his retractable sword. It's kind of like a lightsaber in the way it retracts, but it's an actual physical sword. It's very cool. But the second episode is a little less eventful, it's not as fun, it's not as cool, but it is what it is. So what would I rate these episodes overall? I'd give it a creme de la out of a creme de la creme rating. It's a fun show. These first few episodes have been fun. The first episode was clearly better than the second one. We get an introduction into a new character, and we see the Ronin stuff over again, and Clint in his natural habitat with his family. He's spending time with his family, so it's a fun little episode. Second one is a little bit more boring. It's not as fun, but it's still interesting. So they're not bad episodes. They're not spectacular by any means necessarily, but they're not terrible either. They're good. They're okay episodes. So I give it a creme de la out of a creme de la creme. But let me know what you guys think of these episodes. I'm curious to know, are you guys interested in this show? And if you've seen it, what do you guys think of the episodes so far? Make sure you comment in the comment section and let me know. Alright guys, I'll check you out on the next According to Ash.